Hello, today's lesson is dividing a whole number by a unit fraction. Our learning target is I can justify procedures for division of fractions and solve real-world problems using fractions and mixed numbers. So today we are going to start looking at the other side at division of fractions and look at different procedures that you can use to solve these division problems. So we are going to start with some review of division concepts. So for starting, division is the opposite of multiplication. And we looked a little bit at this last unit with fractions, but an example would be 3 times 2, which is equal to 6. Well, using the same fact family, we're just going to do the opposite. So we're going to start with our product 6. And you're going to divide it by either of your factors, with your answer being the other factor. So another important thing to remember that we have been talking about so far this year, is that fractions are just division problems as well. And what I mean by that is if we have the fraction 3/4, we had talked about how what that fraction bar means is just divided by. Which is going to go nicely into our more rational numbers unit later this year, when we are going to start turning fractions into decimals and percents. The next part is an important one. When we are dividing, it breaks numbers into groups or parts. So if we go back to this other example, 6 divided by 3, that's saying that we have 6 of something and we're dividing it into 3 groups or parts. And the last piece is a unit fraction has a 1 in the numerator. So if you need to pause the video to catch up, or pause it and go back to listen to this again, please do that. The next two things we are going to be looking at is using a model and a number line to solve a division of a whole number by a unit fraction. Alright, so our question is Sequoia bought 3 chocolate brownies after school. Let me start again. Sequoia brought 3 chocolate brownies to school. If she gives each student 1/4 of a brownie, how many students will receive a piece? So again, the things that we circle are key important parts of a word problem that we're going to need to solve. So the 3 chocolate brownies that Sequoia brought to school, this is the number that we're trying to split up. 1/4 is the amount of brownie that Sequoia is going to give to each student. This is going to be the groups or parts that we're breaking it into. And so, since we are using a model for this first part, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with 3 models or 3 rectangles to represent the chocolate brownies that Sequoia is bringing to school. And I'm going to break each of these 3 into fourths. Now, again, the 1/4 is the second part of my division problem, which talks about breaking the numbers into groups or parts. The answer is how many groups or parts we will have. Or in this one, how many students will receive a brownie. So when I'm looking at this, we have 1 student, 2, 3, 4 students will get a brownie from the first pan. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So by breaking the brownies into 1/4, that means we will have 12 total pieces to hand out. So 12 students will receive a brownie. Now, before we go on to drawing this on the number line and showing it that way, let's just point out something that we like to point out a lot when we were multiplying fractions. We talked about how when we multiply by a fraction less than 1, our product is smaller than what we started out with. Well, in this problem, and I'm going to write a number sentence as well, we have 3 divided by 1/4 is equal to 12. So in this one, we are actually ending up with more than we're starting out with because we're breaking them into smaller pieces, which gives us more pieces. We're breaking these 3 brownie pieces into fourths, and so that's going to give us 12 smaller brownie pieces to share. So if we are now going to draw it on the number line. So we have 3 pieces. I'm going to go to the 3. So I'll erase the 4 actually. We have 3 pieces that we are starting out with, and we are breaking them into fourths. So at each I'm going to do a different color to make it stick out more. We are going to break each number between 0 and 1, 1 and 2, and 2 and 3 into fourths. And so now when we count how many pieces we broke it into, we broke it into 1, 2, 3, 4. So just like in our brownie pan, just like in our model above, we have one piece that's broken into 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I want you to, after copying this down on your note page, go ahead and flip your note page over and complete the student work part that goes with it. And then pick one of the 2 activities in Google Classroom. Thank you.